This is part 3 of loans and credit cards. So we talked about car loans. Now let's talk specifically about mortgages. Mortgages are fixed installment loans specifically meant for buying a house. Lenders often require a down payment of a certain percentage of the selling price of the property. When we were talking about cars, sometimes we had a down payment, sometimes we didn't. Mortgages almost always require a down payment. The amount of money financed will be the selling price minus the down payment, just like when we were talking about cars. Also, many lenders require that the buyer pay 1 or more points at closing. Points correspond to a certain percentage of the loan amount. 1 point is 1% of the loan, 2 points is 2% of the loan, and so on. Now, the down payment, the percentage for the down payment is based on the selling price, but the points are calculated on the loan amount. So we're taking percentages of 2 different values on here, and that's going to be important. Now, also, many lenders require that borrowers have an escrow account, which is where you pay just more than what you need for your mortgage. They bank that extra and they pay your property taxes and your insurance out of that account. We're not going to do any calculations involving escrow accounts, just mentioning that they are there. Okay? So let's look at an example problem. The price of a condominium is $180,000. The bank requires a 5% down payment and 1 point at the time of closing. The cost of the condominium is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 8%. Okay, so we're going to be using this formula a lot. Let's start off, we need to figure out what all these pieces are. My rate, I'm going to write down here, our rate is 5%, so I'm going to write it down here so when I slide this up, I can still see it on the screen. Our R is 0.05. It is a 30-year loan. Oh no, 5% down payment. So the rate is 8%. Sorry, I should read the whole thing. Okay, so the rate is 8%, the time is 30. Okay, so find the required down payment. So part A, we're supposed to pay 5% of the selling price. So I figure $180,000 times 0.05, so 5% of that. $180,000 times 0.05 is $9,000. Okay, so the down payment is $9,000. So what does that mean? The amount how much am I going to mortgage? That's part B. Well, I'm going to take the selling price and then subtract off the down payment. So the loan amount will be for $171,000. All the rest of our calculations when it comes to plugging into the formula are going to be based on 171 because that's the amount of the loan. Okay, part C. How much must be paid? I need to fix that for the 1 point at closing. We need 1% of the amount that we're financing. So I need to do 171.000, not point, $171,000 times 0.01. And that gives me $1,710. So I'm going to owe that much at closing. I don't get to subtract that off of this. This is like a fee for the loan. Okay? Now, often lenders will have an option of you paying more points for a lower interest rate. We're going to work some problems with that in a bit. Okay? So now part D, find the monthly payment. Okay, excluding escrow, taxes, and insurance. Like I said, we're not paying attention to that part. Find the monthly payment. Okay, so I need the formula. Our payment is the amount that we're financing, which is 171, times the rate over N, so 0.08 over 12, over 1 minus 1 plus the same thing, raised to the negative 12 times the number of years, which is 30. Okay. Okay, we're supposed to round to the nearest dollar, so 1,255. Okay, now the final part is find the total cost of interest over 30 years. So for part E, the total cost we're going to take, I'm paying $1,255 every month for 30 years. And you will find that that gives you have made $451,800 in deposits. Now you take this and you subtract off the amount that we financed. Make sure you don't go back to 180,000. That's not what we financed. We financed the 171. So subtract off 171,000. And you have paid $280,800 in interest. Okay. I skipped a page, sorry. All right. Let's say the price of a home is $160,000. The bank requires a 15% down payment. The buyer is offered two mortgage options, a 15-year fixed rate at 8% or a 30-year fixed rate at 8%. So the same interest rate, different number of years. Calculate the amount of interest paid for each option. How much does the buyer save in interest with the 15-year option? Okay, so first we have to figure out how much we're going to finance. So we need to figure out the down payment. So the down payment will be $160,000 times 15% down payment, so 0.15, and that gives you $24,000. Okay, so the loan amount will be $160,000 minus $24,000. So you're financing $136,000. That's going to be the P for both of our computations, okay? So in all of the computations as well, our R is 8%. And of course, N is 12. The only thing that's really going to change in our calculations is T. It's either 15 or 10. Okay, let's do the 15-year first. Okay, then I need to figure out the payments, which is going to be $136,000 times 0.08 over 12 over 1 minus 1 plus 0.08 over 12 to the negative 12 times 15. Okay, so okay, so this is the amount I get, and I'm supposed to round to the nearest dollar. That's a 6, so this jumps up to $1,300. So you're going to be paying $1,300 a month. We're supposed to find how much they save in interest, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out how much interest is paid here. This would be $1,300 times 12 times 15, which gives you $234,000 that you've paid in. Subtract off the amount of the loan, and therefore you have paid about $98,000 in interest. Okay, So I'm going to a different color so maybe we can see this a little bit better, the difference between the two. Okay, so now I'm going to do the 30-year. And the only thing that changes in this whole formula is that number right there. So it's negative 12 times 30. So when it comes to put it in my calculator, I'm just going to copy this and then edit that to a 30 there. So to make it easy. And our payment now, rounded to the nearest whole dollar, is $998. So let's figure out how much is being paid in. $998 for 12 months for 30 years. And when you do that, you get $359,280. Subtract off the amount of interest, the amount of the loan to find the interest, and you get that the interest was $223,280. So now for the main question, what is the difference in the amount of the loan of interest we paid? So we would do $223,280 minus the $98,000. So you are saving $125,280 if you go for the 15-year loan.